What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the third day of the 12 days of Wolfmas. Through 2 days, we are up $1,900. So the only responsible thing is to put it all on the line tonight in a private 5-5 game here in Dallas. We're gonna be in for $2,000 to start. Any profits that I make in these 12 days is all going to you guys. The only way you are eligible is if you like the video, if you're a subscriber, and then stay tuned to the end of the video. You have to comment the keyword down below. We're gonna be checking all 12 days to make sure you are eligible. As for now, let's see what kind of mischief we can get into here in this 5-5 game. Hopefully, we don't lose all the profits. Let's check it out. Let's go. All right, a little bit irresponsible to gamble all of the profits so far, but I'm trying to make this a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays for all of you guys watching. So we're gonna put our money where our mouth is, and the poker gods respect it by giving us the best hand ever created in the very first hand. We are the $10 straddle. The poker gods also like the straddle, so it's a double whammy here. And Terrell opens it up to $40 from the button. Have to come in for a 3-bet. I'm gonna go large here, considering I'll be out of position the rest of the way. I make it $200 to go. He is a non-believer, puts in the call, and we see a pretty wet flop, which comes queen, jack, deuce with 2 diamonds. In a single raise pot, might be doing a fair amount of checking. However, this is a 3-bet pot, so we want to put some money in here. I'm gonna have all of the ace queen, the over pairs, the sets. I fire out for half pot for $200, and Terrell puts in the call. On a brick, which comes the 3 of hearts, I gotta continue betting here. I look over at his stack. There's 855 in the middle, and he has around $1,000 behind. So kind of a tricky situation here. If he has any flush draw, we want to charge him the maximum. If he has a hand like King 10 or 10-9, going small here could be problematic. So what does that mean? I decided to jam it all in for $1,000. If he has top pair with a good kicker, he also has to put it in here. So I like this play, charging his draws the maximum and getting the most while we can out of his top pairs and all that good stuff. Terrell obviously doesn't love it. I don't think anyone on earth in his spot would love an over pot size bet, even if they had a hand like ace queen or king queen. You're just not loving life at this point, because I could easily have queen jack suited or pocket jacks or all of the over pairs. But here's the thing, me and Terrell have played some large pots before at peaks, and he decides to put in the call knowing I will still have some bluffs here like ace 5 of diamonds, ace king of diamonds, king 10 suited, all of that good stuff. He puts in the call. We're going off to a river here in a $2,800 pot. Am I going to lose all the profits on the very first hand? Well, the 10 of spades peels off. I turn over aces, and he says we are good. He doesn't show his cards, he mucks them, which means we have secured $1,400 in profit in the very first hand. And let's just say the third day of Wolfmas is paying dividends already. All right, we downgrade our starting hand. I mean, it's not hard to downgrade, but look at this, pocket kings, the Cowboys here in Dallas, and we're gonna come in for a 3-bet over a raise from our friend to our right, Amy, a staple on all of the shorts. She went viral a bunch of times, hoping we can go viral one more time here in a large one. She decides to call my 3-bet, and we see a very good flop, pretty dry I might say, on a 9-3 deuce rainbow board. She checks, and I decide to check behind, trying to let her catch up on the 7 diamonds turn. She checks it once again, and now we have to go for value and some protection as well. In case she has a 1 pair, I don't want to give her a cheap price to make 2 pair on me, but she folds her cards, and let's pan it over to her to see her reaction. Right, up $1,200 on the session. Terrell raises it up to $30 from the hijack. I'm in the big blind, and I come in for that 3-bet to 125, and he puts in the call, leading us off to a flop which comes jack 9-7 with 1 diamond. Top, as Jamie Gold would say, with the backdoor nut flush draw. Pretty great spot to be in. However, who has more of the 10-8? Well, I think Terrell would probably have that. He's also going to have more of the pocket 7s and 9s. I might just complete with them out of the big blind instead of 3-betting. So for all those reasons, I decide to start with a check, and Terrell checks behind. When the turn gives us 2 pair, I'm now going to go for value. I put in the $100, and he puts in the call. The 8 of hearts on the river isn't exactly great in case he has a hand like jack 10, 9-10. He now makes a straight, which is obviously better than my 2 pair. However, we're going to have to hear that from Terrell. I fire out for $225. I still can get value from a ton of hands, maybe a non-believing jack, a weak ace, Some sort of king 9 suited might even get a little bit sticky here. He also could have two pairs like jack 9, 9-7 suited, jack 8 suited, all that good stuff. So 225 is the price. Here's the thing though, Terrell has the option of raising it, which is exactly what he does, the tune of 675. It's not too large, just 3 times the size of my bet. Pretty tough spot, but let's break it down for a second. Is he ever doing this with 2 pair? I don't think so. I think that just calls. Some of his bluffs might include missed spades, but I can't think of too many combinations of those. I think all of the jacks would either just call or fold, which means he's either doing this with a set of 9s or 7s that didn't decide to raise the turn, and then of course any 10x like jack 10, 9-10, 8-10 suited, all that good stuff. So I actually make a pretty disciplined, and some might say tight fold here, folding top 2 on this board, even when the spade draw bricks out. Luckily for us, Terrell is a friend. He knows I'm filming this for the channel and the 12 Days of Wolfmas. So when I fold, he kindly flashes us king 10 offsuit. So look at that. I made an insane fold there, and it was the right one. He had a straight. He's taking down that pot, but I feel like I saved an additional $400 in your guys' money there. All right, next hand, I have 2,600 in my stack. Queen 10 offsuit from the cutoff, and I raise it up to 30. Scott calls from the button, and the big blind does as well, which means we are going 3 ways to a flop, which comes queen, 10, 6, bang, we flop top 2. Big blind checks it over to me, and even though I'm in between 2 opponents, I decide to deviate here in this spot. The only combination of hand that I'm really worried about is pocket 6s. I fire out for $40, and Scott puts in the call. That brings in the big blind, and the 10 of diamonds on the turn gives me a boat. To make the situation even better, the big blind just donks out into me for 175. I guess he's trying to tell the story that he has more 10s in his range than myself, and he's kind of true, although looking at my exact hand, the story is not making too much sense. That being said, if he has a 10 and I just call here, what if the river is a diamond or a spade? That might kill some of the action. Also, when he just leads out into myself and Scott, I mean, he's telling the story he has a good hand, so raising here makes some sense to try to pile more money in. For instance, if he has a hand like ace 10 suited, 10-9 suited, he's definitely not folding for a $450 bet. Scott, though, gets out of the way and the action's back over to the big blind, but it looks like he was up shit's creek without a paddle because he folds his cards, and I might have fast played this hand a little bit too fast. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I was just trying to make more money for you guys. I thought he had a good hand that he wasn't going to fold, but maybe I just smooth call there and try to get more money in on the river. Merry Wolfmas, everybody. As you already know, I'm picking 7 lucky winners to split the profits of my 12 days of poker. But I have a special announcement that will be sure to sweeten the deal to make you want to enter. Champions Card Club in Houston has graciously offered to pay for all 7 winners' flights and hotel stays, where each of you will receive your winnings as a buy-in on the Champions Club live stream. That's right, a round-trip flight, 2-night hotel stay, and your first buy-in on the Champions 2-5 live stream, all covered for free. Oh, and did I mention you'll be playing against me, Wolfgang, on the live stream? That's right, all of you who keep commenting that you take my money at the poker table, well, now it's your time to step up to the felt. Remember, in order to enter, you need to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment the keyword I give at the end of the video. Good luck and happy holidays. Still, can't be complaining about taking down a pot. Let's see if we can do it here with ace-queen offsuit from the big blind. The villain in middle position raises it up to 25. There's 2 callers. I'm going to fire out for 150 and try to build this pot. But when everyone folds their cards, we're going to take down $95 in dead money. And chipping up is definitely a good strategy as well. Winning the small pots uncontested. No complaints over here. All right, ace-jack suited this time. The straddle's on. I make it $50 to go, and the straddle decides to defend. We're off to a flop, which comes queen 6-5. Bang! We flop the nuts. The straddle checks over to me, and given the fact I have the nuts, I'm going to check behind here, try to let him catch up. The king of spades could allow him to catch up. However, when he checks it to me for a second time, I don't have too high of expectations, so I fire small for $40, and sure enough, he gives us the bad news by folding. It's one thing to make the best hand, but then you have to get some value still. Taking down a $150 pot. All right, a few hands to go here. I look down at queen, jack of hearts this time from under the gun. I raise it up to $20, and Scott calls from middle position, which means we are going heads up to a flop. Out of position, which comes 9-7-5 with 1 heart. I check and Scott fires out for $20. Am I going to go for the tricky check raise or just put in the call? I go for the latter route, and that brings in the ace of spades on the turn. Action goes check, check, bringing in the deuce of diamonds on the river. And now left with just queen high when Scott checks behind on the ace of spades. I decide to turn my hand into a bluff and go kind of small value bet size here with my queen high. You would think if I'm trying to bluff, I'd go a little larger, but my logic was Scott's a thinking player. He's a good one at that. So if I go small here, it probably screams value. And sure enough, we are going to get the bluff through. Scott folds, and I'm going to take down this pot with queen high. All right, ace-9 offsuit from under the gun. I make it $20 to go. Amy in the big blind calls. We're going to go heads up in position to a flop, which comes king, queen, 10. So good for my range. Not exactly great for Amy. I go for a very small bet, and she puts in the call, and the turn gives us the nuts on the jack of spades. The action goes check, check, bringing in a board pairing 10 of clubs. She checks. I bet. She folds, and I turn over the bottom end of the straight, showing the 9 of hearts, letting her know that she made a great fold. All right, last hand of the night, Jack 10 suited from the cutoff. Amy makes it $20 to go for my right. I put in the call, as I will mix in some calls and 3 bets with Jack 10 suited. Snoopy's a good player, and he decides to 3-bet it up to $90. Amy's out of the way, and I'm going to put in the additional $70 here and try to battle out of position against Snoopy. Probably not the best spot in the world, but who cares? We're up a little bit of money. Flop comes queen 8-6, which is kind of good for Snoopy because he's going to have all the overpairs and ace queen, king queen. However, I should probably have more of the pocket 8s and pocket 6s. I'm also going to have some 7-9 suited and 7-5 suited as well. I check it over to Snoopy. He goes for a C-bet, a very small size as well. Sometimes you can deduce some information based on the sizing of your opponent's bets. Snoopy's a good player though, so I don't read too much into the bet sizing. He's going to bet small here, probably with his entire range. That being said though, Jack 10 of spades is kind of one of those tricky hands. A lot of good cards for me on the turn. For instance, a 7, a 9 obviously, a king gives me an open-ender, any spade, I pick up a flush draw. So calling here seems okay, but going for a check raise seems pretty dirty. I'm going to get him to fold a lot of his overcards like ace-king, ace-jack, hands that have me beat. He's obviously going to continue with his queens, but he's going to play pretty face-up from here on out. That being said, let's try to go for a check raise here, get it through the last hand of the night. I make it $225, and look at that. Snoopy's going to fold his cards. I don't show the bluff, of course. He's going to have to see it in the video, but we're taking down this $495 pot.
You have 2 guesses. If you can guess one of these cards, I'll flip it over.
Do you play like
and
5, 10 or
8? No.
You guess the same card? I'm pocket 8s? No, I didn't pocket 8s.
And I think I played some great poker tonight. Obviously, I ran pretty well, but let's bring it to the outro to see how we did. Alright, that wraps up day 3 of the 12 days of Wolfmas. We've hit 11:05 in 5 hours, bringing our total to 29:06 through 3 days. I'm on an absolute tear, and I'm giving all that money away to you guys, the subscribers. All you have to do is like the video, be a subscriber, and then leave a comment down below, including the keyword on this video, which is pocket aces. So let me know down below something about pocket aces. And then at the end of the 12 days, I'm going to pick 7 lucky winners. I partnered with Champions Club down in Houston, and they're going to fly you out, give you a 2-day hotel stay, and then I'm going to live stream a 9-handed game with myself and my editor Lucas. I'm going to be there in attendance, and we are going to play for 5-6 hours on a live stream. It's going to be an absolutely epic time. Also want to give a huge shout out to my poker coach Alvin, who's taken my game to the next level in 2023. More of the same coming in 2024, but if you guys want to get better, I left his email down below. You can hit him up for coaching, and also our $77 comprehensive all-inclusive course is down below as well. With day 3 in the books, tomorrow is day 4. Click on that when it comes into your newsfeed. I'll see you then tomorrow. Good luck on the felt, you guys. Peace.
Is that Wolfgang Poker?